Oh my God, darling, are we recording? It's such a pleasure to have you here in my realm. I get here once in a while. Hope you're doing good, sapphires. The world's a heavy place with a lot of bad space. But the healers of the world like us, well, you're either on or off the bus. That's all there is to it. Did I plan to make this video? No, I was just taking some pictures because I was hoping that I might get one of my pictures in one of these new magazines. You know, it's a magazine for women that are connoisseurs. But it's kind of an elite magazine. Not to be funny, but I'm from Brooklyn and I call a duck a duck. If it quacks, it's a duck. People should be nice to you whether you're poor, whether you're rich, if you're a decent person. Oh, I was trying to do a little thing because I was keeping some of my sacred jewelry in the shop. Trying to get it like, you know, one of these kind of Vogue shops. Yeah, don't tell me how old I am, whatever. I'm a walking corpse, but I try to look nice. That's some kind of, sort of like what I'm aiming for. Don't ask me what's going on in my personal life because you better have a big book of psychology and astronomical stuff and all this astrology and oh yeah, you would not believe. So let's just keep it on a copacetic level. Since I'm not planning on doing it as is, but the universe tells me when it's time to do an as is. Kind of like, you know, Ozzy Osbourne or Kiss or whatever, you know, and they're all doing their reality shows, and, you know, they got the whole crew, and, you know, they got the makeup artists and the hair people, and, you know, okay, let's do that one again. Well, it's as is. It's just the poor working girls show. So, my take on what's going on in the world. You don't have to have money to be intelligent or be a good, high spiritual being. It's usually the poor son of a bees that wind up getting a chance to have the power to heal the world along with other people. But being an empath or whatever, the psychic or whatever you want to call it, all the above. I can't even begin to tell you. My good people that know me and have known me for years, they know who I am. Yeah, I could have been up there with Belushi and all that, but I chose not to be, because I was smart enough to realize that even though John, who was off drugs, was a great mentor, and he was like a big brother to me. He knew about my mother's suicide attempts. He knew about, oh, yeah. Want a little more drama. Anyway, so I'm trying to categorize all this stuff. And when I was young, I was like 19, I decided that people were acting really nasty in the guise of acting, wow, you're going to be on TV, you're going to be on, you know, National Lampoon's Lemmings, whatever they're going to call it, radio dinner show, whatever. You know, SNL. Only I never got to be on there. I could have. A lot of people wanted me to be. I had too much stuff, too much baggage, too much undigested bullshit because people didn't talk about the things in those days. There was no 1-800 help me honey lines for anything that might be going on with you. It was like nothing. It was like you kept it to yourself. Not try being a little kid and keeping shit to yourself like that and just being like a proper, wonderful, good girl. It's pretty good. I grew up. I got tough. I didn't trust. Had too much. Now I turned it down. I wound up having a bad drug trip too on top of everything. Lived with the Children of God on and off for 2 years. What you want to talk about? I look at the state of the world. I watch all the things that are going on. That poor woman. That whole duck boat. A tragedy that could have been averted. I mean, didn't you learn anything from the Titanic? A woman lost her whole family, a husband, a baby, her babies. What the? You know, and people that are poor and they're disabled and they just want to work and make a little bit of money and, you know, contribute to their country. Well, if you were disabled before you were working, then you get extra money and extra help. But if you're just a poor, discarded person, because you had a lot of problems in your life and it's a miracle you're alive, you can make $85 over what you get in a check, which is supposed to be $7.50, but they're taking out $75 because I worked. I got paid to do what I was doing anyway, taking care of my special needs grandson that I love. For a while, I was making $14 an hour. Still getting my check. They were cutting it down, but I was reporting it. I was, you know, doing everything right. Being an American taxpayer. Next thing I know, my worker that was working with me for over a year, that I had a really good relationship with, well, everybody neglected to tell me that she had retired. Her name was Terry Patterson. She was a good lady, working for Social Security. You know, you deal with all kinds of people when you gotta go down them offices. It depends on what your situation is. So long story short, I wasn't making that much. I wasn't making $2,000 a month. I wasn't even making $1,000 a month. But I felt like I was like on Easy Street for a minute. Yeah, I smoked cigarettes, that's right. It was crammed down my throat when I was a kid, chocolate cigarettes. You want to get into that discussion? You want to know how many times I've tried to quit? At least I'm not doing a lot worse things. I mean, where do you get started? I mean, this is all the material, the topics that I want to discuss. You know, like the weather. Yeah. You know, it's like, didn't I read something in the Bible about earthquakes in diverse places, and the world ain't gonna be destroyed by a flood, but it's gonna be by a fire, and it's gonna be, I mean, it's falling to pieces. This planet is like gasping. Can you people please get it together? You know, and then we get to watch the news, which is some of it's good, and you know, there's all those good stories of people going out of their way, even sometimes going out of their way to help somebody and getting killed. You know, there's good and bad in all. No matter what your color, what your thing is, whatever. I don't know. I guess I just consider myself a Buddhist, pagan, Catholic, Jewish, nun, spiritualist. I don't really think of myself as a guru. I pass around what I know, and God knows I know. I could write volumes. I could write an encyclopedia on what I know, what I've experienced. So long story short, getting back to the story like Lenny Bruce would, basically, they told me that I owed them $4,000. And they couldn't explain why. They gave me cock and bull stories about, you weren't paying enough rent. Excuse me? You don't give me more money when I was homeless. And I've been homeless. So, what? So I'm hearing that a lot of other people are having the same issue. And I'm wondering where the money's going. Who's taking the money? Who's taking the money away from the people that are, poor? Trying not to be destitute, trying to be proud, trying to work, trying to push themselves. Whether they have chronic problems, anywhere some self-harm to depression, to arthritis, to fibromyalgia, to a survivor of, tardive dyskinesia. Why don't you Google that? Why don't they have a cure for that? Why don't they have a cure for cancer? They were doing that rally and stuff when I was a little girl. My mother said no, they won't. There's too much money to be made on cancer. My grandmother died of it, but it was put down as natural causes. There's nothing so natural. There's something unnatural. I knew that the night before it happened, I had a vision, and the telegram came the next day, the same time that voice vision told me my grandmother was going to pass away at 3 whatever a.m. If there wasn't God, if there wasn't an ancient alien, if there wasn't whatever the heck there is, and there might be at all, and along with the demons that we're trying to slay, that we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but we have to fight the evil principalities. It's a spiritual warfare. It's just the truth you see. So many been kept down, I don't have a film crew with me, but I got the angels and the benevolent demons marching on my team. When they go, gecko, Hello Kitty, y'all know what I mean. Who in the world would ask for this? Who would say, hey God, yeah, I want to be a nun. I watched that movie about Our Lady of Fatima. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching The Late Show in Brooklyn. And all I wanted to do was be like Lucia. I told my Jewish aunt I wanted to be a nun. And she said to me, little Jewish girls can't become nuns. Not true. Edith Stein. Google it. Anyway. But I really wasn't a little Jewish girl. I didn't get the training. I didn't know a rabbi. I seen the Rebbe, the Lubavitch Rebbe, across the street when I was a little girl. And I smiled at him and he smiled at me. And he had all these little boys with earlocks, and I wanted to find out more. My grandfather would not talk about it. And he seldom kept things from me. I wouldn't touch base about the Rebbe until the internet came. Did I ever tell you I taught myself HTML? Yep. When I lived in South Carolina, I got HTML for dummies. Oh, excuse me, for those that are so modern, that's what they call coding. Yeah, I did some web pages. Not bad for an old girl, huh? Maybe old, but I ain't dead. Anyway, I don't feel like dragging out my guitar right now. I'm tired. We went to the Lane County Fair. We had a good time. I didn't get to go on the ride I wanted to go. I just sacrificed it for the 9 days of Av and, for Lent, and to be able to go to my next ballet class. So, didn't they have some show on CBS about two working girls or something? Like they were working in a restaurant. I never really watched it. I just seen the promos, but, it wasn't some people's cup of tea to watch. And I didn't get a chance to. It looked kind of interesting. Anyway, a lot of people say I sound like the nanny, and I do. But y'all, I live in the South, and that's where I want to be back, because that's where I believe my roots are, from past lives, through everything. So, wish y'all good. I'm struggling with things. I'm praying that somebody I love is going to go, be okay. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm going to be writing for the mighty people that have overcome things like cutting or burning. I haven't done anything like that in years, but I did last week. But there's an app for that now. Calm Harm. It's a good one. Get it from the Google Play shop. So, not everybody's immune to everything. Me, I look out for everybody. I'd much rather hurt myself than somebody else. I'm tired of being hurt. I want to see a better world. Trying to create a better world. I don't even have time for my Hebrew anymore. My comprehension is excellent. Total recall for most of my life. Photogenic. For good or ill. Imagine yourself. How old was I? 15, 16. Locked out. Once upon a time, my mother jumped off the roof. It wasn't her first suicide attempt. I was brought into a room to identify her, not knowing if she was alive or dead. My best friend Susan at the time couldn't come in with me. He wouldn't let her. They didn't send me in with a doctor or a nurse or anybody. I was just a kid. I didn't know what I'd see. I'd walk behind the cloth panel. Those metal white bars you've probably seen in the old movies. My mother was on a gurney. She was covered with a sheet. There was blood on the sheet. I didn't know if my mother was alive or dead, and I knew I couldn't bear it if she wasn't. I picked up the sheet. I looked at her head. She had a big gash in her forehead. They'd stitched it together. Maybe they didn't yet. I don't remember. I think that came later. I said, "Mommy," and I held my breath to see if she was breathing. All that mattered to me in the world at Kings County Hospital was that my mother was breathing. She was. I thank Jesus. My grandfather was Jewish, and he was glad I liked Jesus. If you it made me feel better. Someday I'll have the time to devote to my creativity and to be able to provide for my family. I haven't had time to work on my GoFundMe. I haven't had time to be a social media ambassador for Ballet Fantastic, which I love. I love the people down there. It brings me such joy and magic to be able to experience what I wasn't able to after I was 12 and had a couple of lessons. I lost a ballet shoe on the bus. My grandfather wouldn't call lost and found. The teacher said, "You can't miss a class." And my grandfather couldn't afford to buy me another pair of ballet shoes. That was the end of it. I just did what I could on my own. I just taught myself how to play guitar and drums. I just taught myself how to do just about anything. How to climb with the boys, how to fix a TV set because the tube was loose. And my mom got mad at me. I was like 7 or 8 because I left the TV on. And she said, "You're not supposed to try to fix things when it's on." And I said, "Well, Mommy, how am I supposed to know if it's working?" I didn't blow myself up. It was just a loose tube. And I've always been fixing things in situations and people. And yeah, like my cool shrink counselor says to me, "You've earned more than one PhD, honey." You know, all the schooling I couldn't attend. Losing my funding to be a nurse. Being told that Medicaid won't pay for my medicine if I'm working as a CNA, trying to get to be LPN and then RN and then, you know. I wanted to work with kids with cancer, not because it was easy, but because they needed somebody to cheer them up and find some way to make them laugh. And I never thought I was pretty. I was always cute. But I was happy as a tomboy that was, you know, gonna help other people. Yeah, I was a stinker sometimes, but not really bad. I was tried out. So, I don't know where the hell this came from. This is my life, okay? I talk to God like this all the time. You want to see part of my room? It's a wreck. I'm trying to get it together. I hope that this thing is actually recorded. There's the Rebbe. Keep calm around Dijon. So anyway, I've prattled on way too long. I must go. I'm hoping this will come out. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I usually don't have a lot of memory on my phone because I fill it with a lot of different things. Look me up on writing.com. DL Spirit Writer. Follow the breadcrumbs. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Google, I'm on Instagram, I'm on a whole bunch more. I've been writing since 2004 online, and writing.com gave me the courage to take my words from the paper and the books that I owned and put them out there where somebody could look at them and read them and maybe enjoy them. And I've gotten a lot of reviews back. People have been so awesome. Over the last 15 years, I think I've been on that site. And, you know, I miss that. I miss being part of a team, cheering people up with their right and giving them my 2 cents, telling them, hey, that's really cool, right on, you know. Anyway, I could go on like this for hours, weeks, probably years, but I have no idea how far people will watch. If it was me, I'd be watching the whole damn thing going, oh my God, this woman is amazing. Somebody ought to tell Oprah about her, because she's on a mission to help women and children and protect people. And do something about all this crime, drugs, and guns in the wrong hands. Hey, Mr. Trump, would you like to meet with me? I went in one of your buildings once in the 80s. My ex-boyfriend, a photographer, I was studio manager in those days, Ron Rich Photography. And he brought me in there. I was kind of shy to go in there because all these rich people are all, you know, not all of them, but more than enough. And I went in there, and I just love the architecture. I love the feeling of luxury. It's like all the movies I have watched, you know, through my life, where you get glamour. Like I love Betty Davis. She's one of my favorites. And Audrey Hepburn. So many people. Make the best use of your time. Don't do dumbass shit. Don't hurt other people. Try to help people. Do the best you can. These are tough times, yo. We gotta bolster each other up. We gotta drink from the tarot cup. Tarot. Grey Poupon. Coca-Cola. So, anyway, I'm getting into art. I'm watching this show on Picasso. You know, genius Picasso. And I had no idea about this guy's life. I mean, I thought his paintings were kind of like cool and stuff. You know, Tony Banner, but I never get the guy's name. He's so cute. Anyway, Antonio Banderas, you know, he did Puss in Boots, God help me. But he is, oh my God, he should get an Oscar for this performance of Picasso. I mean, I know quality. I may have been in the back wings, like John Lennon was for 5 years, being a house husband. Just where you are, you're supposed to be, you know. Anyway, I gotta get some VA with lemon juice, because my mouth is like a desert. I wish you love. Boop, boop, beep, boop.